We will never be this young again. Never. We can be stronger, wiser, kinder, better. Yeah, we getting better, boo. Ooh. How? Pain. Change. And change hurts. It also feels good too. There's joy. There's peace in the middle of the storm. There's love. A whole lot of love. You see what I did there?
This is deep.
Right. I should know. In the last quarter of 2017, I moved to Houston, Texas, baby. Population 2.3 million. From Rochester, New York. Population 207,000.
That's a big jump.
Right. This move from small city to large, from east to Gulf Coast, was a hell of a change. But I had to make it work to fulfill my purpose. Too old is for everyone who thinks they're too old to start over. Everyone who has gripped their balls and done it anyway. Everyone who takes risks. Everyone who is scared. Everyone living their best lives. And everyone who is tired of letting life pass them by. Too old is for you. Today we have Lotto Marie on the show.
What's up?
Daughter, sister, comedian, producer.
Yes.
And you know I love the written word. It's my life's work. So we'll start with a blog I wrote, then I'll kick it to you. You can tell me what you think and all about Lotto Marie.
I'm a chill.
All right?
I'm chilling.
Oh, I like, that's a money shot.
Do you, boo?
Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. I take a deep breath and tug at the church's door. Locked. My stride around the brick facade is brisk, but I take care to note the warmth of the sun and manicured lawn. The next door is also locked. I take a deep breath. A delayed limo and 2 canceled lifts cannot stop me from coming here tonight. I will find an open door. I quicken my pace. The next door is locked too, and the one after that. I sit on a courtyard bench. Yo, God, what's up? Why are the doors locked when I called to confirm? I open the Overeaters Anonymous Houston website. I see that tonight's meeting is hybrid. Damn, I could have stayed home. I log on. Behind me are door opens. We didn't hear you knocking. Short and stout, I follow the brunette inside where 7 other white ladies wait. Welcome. Their toothy grins make me wonder if they're offering me passage to the sunken place. I nod and sit. Turn my attention to the television monitor where the virtual portion is taking place. Woman after woman talks about hitting rock bottom, about being clean. What does that mean? It's not like you can just not eat. Would you like to share? Not really. But never want to turn down an invitation to speak, I nod. Hi, I'm Banke. I'm a compulsive eater, I guess. I've always been weight conscious. At times I've been very mindful of my diet and exercise. Other times, I completely slip. But after my brother was murdered, I couldn't stop. I just eat and go to sleep. P.S. Hit the above button to pull up on Tuesday night. P.P.S. Today's opening quote comes from Matthew 7. The door did not open because I did not knock. Let that preach. P.P.S. The above picture shows that it's not about my weight. I look good and always will. It's about breaking addictive behavior. It's about being my best. PPPS, this video is a funny take on weight. PPPS, this video breaks Overeaters Anonymous down and a good watch for addictions of any kind.
PPPPS. I ain't never even seen Banke eat. So when did you probably be hungry as hell watching me eat, huh? Because I'm always eating.
Yeah, I'm weird about eating in public.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Yeah, because mostly when I'm performing, like, I get, like...
anxiety?
I get, like, the bubble...
Yeah, bubble guts.
Yeah. So I'll be like, nah, I'm going to wait until I'm
afterwards.
Home. Yeah, but typically, especially like at a hood spot, I would get one of them big old styrofoam joints, come home, bust that down, and then get right in the bed.
Fun fact, I don't like styrofoams. I actually hate styrofoams. I will ask them to bring me a different container. Even if I take it home, like, it cannot go in my refrigerator. I have to put it into something else, just random random.
You're an environmentalist?
No, I just hate the way they feel.
Okay.
I don't like
that.
the way the styrofoams feels.
So you're in the autism spectrum.
Okay. Is that... I'm in there?
You're in there.
Quick.
They be
Dang,
mad
I
smart.
ain't know.
I'm telling you.
I can get a little check or
Yeah,
something.
I'm saying.
I do not like styrofoams.
Yeah, because when you're talking about the texture of it, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And it makes that noise when you open it, too.
Yeah, and then it's flimsy. I just feel like it's messing up my food.
I feel you.
And I don't want my food to be messed up. Have you ever tried to pinch the side of your stomach when you get the bubble guts? If you just pulsate and pinch the side of your stomach like
that?
Like this, and just walk and pinch and walk and pinch whenever you feel like that before you go on stage.
Okay.
I can't remember a girl
I've never heard that. I'm glad we have this
PJ
conversation.
Mackey. I randomly think is her name out of LA.
Okay,
is something that she told me probably my second or third year in, because I would get that pretty often, the bubble guts. Sometimes having to use the restroom and that sort of thing. So
and then hoping that they don't call you while you're doing that.
Girl, I have literally when I was in New Orleans, I had to go so bad, and I was next, and I mean it wouldn't come, but I needed to go so bad. But there's something about the power of that microphone in my hand, so I couldn't go. So I went up there and I think I was supposed to do like 10, 15 minutes. I probably did like 20 minutes. I mean, I had a good time.
Yeah.
As soon as I got off of there, I went to the bathroom and blew it down.
Shut it down.
Down.
Right.
I ain't heard no more of the show. Nothing after that. Boy, I would tore that thing up. And that's it hasn't happened often, but that's one of at least 3 different times that something similar of that nature happened, or I had to go before. Yeah, so that helps with the nerves. I guess there's a difference between like the nerves and then actually my stomach, because sometimes I have stomach issues.
Yeah.
Contingent like the surgery that I had previously. So. But sometimes
what surgery?
I had the gastric sleeve. Yeah, this is my 5th year now.
It's been 5 years.
It's been 5 years that I've been medium lotto.
Okay. What made you make that decision?
You know what's crazy? People don't realize this. I had no idea that I was really going to get it. I was really just trying to get, my job would give you $600 if you researched to get an elective surgery, if you researched it through...
You're a hustler.
People,
yeah,
right, before getting it, if you just look into getting it. And so I'm just like, I'll
take that 6.
I'll get it, you know. So you got to go through all of the steps. And then the last step, they was like, you approve. And I was like, who? Who approved? I had to go back and read all this stuff that I had.
That you was just going through.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, give it to me. I didn't know that I was big enough to get it. I think there was I know that there was a lot of delusion. I was 238 pounds, and I had tried a lot of things to lose weight. And I found out this surgery through a comedic friend from out of town, and I didn't know her at her biggest to understand what it did to her. And I didn't know anybody else prior. I had heard of it, but I thought 600 pounds, 400 pounds, not 238.
Right.
And I had tried a lot of things that did not work.
Right.
So I never digested. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for the change. Yeah, I wasn't ready for the change that happened, and because of that, I was actually sick afterwards. If anybody knows, I didn't do comedy for at least 6 months. I didn't work for like 5. Yeah, I stayed in my mom's house for like 3 to 4 months, and then I went back home. I had pretty much got on pain pills. It's the reason why I started smoking weed, because they wanted me off the pain pills. They wouldn't give me any more pain pills.
Because prior to that, you didn't smoke.
I know. I would, if somebody wanted to pass the weed, I would put it in my hand and do like this.
Right. Like you passing the collection plate.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy? That's why I have a problem. And I was a person that judged people that smoke weed. So now I have a problem when people judge people that smoke weed, because you don't know my story. Right.
We don't know anybody's story.
Yeah, you don't know nobody's story. So I don't drink anymore at all. I stopped drinking because of the weight loss surgery. You wasn't supposed to drink for 6 months. And at first I was just like, I ain't going to do it for 6 months. And I said I wasn't going to do it a year. And then I was like, I ain't going to do it until I drop 100. And then I just haven't went back. So it's been 5 years, going on 5 years that I haven't had liquor. But I started smoking weed because of the pain.
Right.
And weed is sold in a lot of places legally, just as like alcohol at one point was illegal.
Right, for
Cigarettes
sure.
were illegal. And so for people to condemn and to look at and to judge a person, you don't know what I went through. You know what I mean? You have no idea. Like, I literally, Tylenol 3 was my life with the codeine.
So you said because mentally you weren't ready, that's why you got sick. So you feel like it was the mental block of it.
So there are things that you have to be prepared for. And I think that that's with any surgery.
Okay.
And I think the one thing that I didn't do was that I didn't get a nutritionist. If I could go back and turn it all around, I think that I would look into getting a very good nutritionist to like, because it really is 80% of what we eat. You know, so a person that has like food, what did you call it in the beginning?
Compulsive eater.
Compulsive eating disorders. Anybody that has anything like that is definitely going to struggle.
Yeah.
With weight loss. So that's the joy, or that's supposed to be the benefit. It's a tool of getting the gastric sleeve, is that it restricts you.
You can't
eat.
Right.
Like,
so
you
now
can,
what are you going to do if that was your thing?
Yeah, like some people bypass it by getting sick. Some people will stuff themselves to sickness to where it pretty much breaks it. I've seen people that, like, you know, I don't like pain.
Yeah.
I don't do pain pills and stuff. So the medicine I was on, the Tylenol 3, was liquid.
Okay.
I'm not good at swallowing pills. You can make fun of me. It could be
swallowing.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't swallow.
For the record.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's not be. There's no confusion there. That's just the facts of the matter. You understand?
I do.
But yeah, you know what? I try to talk about this on stage, and I feel like it turns into a
like a TED Talk.
Yeah, because black people are not familiar with it, which is one of the things that I wasn't. I wasn't familiar with everything, and ultimately, like I was saying, nutritionists could really help you to understand macros and understand the do's and the don'ts. And I didn't, and because I wasn't prepared, I was putting things in my body that was making me sick. And that was essentially the problem, where I thought that they were healthy. They still contain a lot of fat. So even if it was like turkey sausage, there's still a lot of fat in that. And my stomach is extremely small. It's, you know, from 80 to 20%. Okay. So you can't put that much fat. So I would get sick. So, and then I think, you know, I ended up, you know, I don't know. I don't know that it was just that I wasn't ready, but my body was definitely not ready. So I was ill, and I was questioning, was I really ill? It was just a lot of mental that went along with it.
And then so you were back in Oklahoma?
I was here in Houston.
Okay.
Yeah. I was here in Houston when I had the surgery, and my mom lives here. So, yeah, I stayed with her for...
I didn't know your mom was in Houston.
Yeah.
How long she been here?
She the reason I'm here.
Oh.
I moved here when I was young.
I missed that whole thing.
When you be seeing her on the internet.
I always thought you were home.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I take her home with me sometime. We go home from time to time. But yeah, you didn't bring me here to talk about weight loss.
Well, actually, I choose the one I'm going to read for the guests, right? Because obviously we can go back and forth. We can banter, and it's going to be funny, right?
Right.
But as you said, there's certain things it's harder to say on stage, and people are waiting for that next laugh.
Yeah.
Whereas this platform, it allows for you to talk about something that's a bit more substantial.
Right.
You know? I'm done. But let's get, if you would be so kind, we have a guest waiting out there. Thank you. We're multitasking here, right? We just, you didn't do comedy for 6 months during that time.
Yeah.
What did that feel? That's the longest break you've ever taken, right?
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? I don't subtract that from the time that I did comedy.
Okay.
I see people do weird things like, I did COVID that was probably the only time that during the time that I've been doing comedy that I wasn't funny. My mom was scared.
Because you had not a joke in you.
She said, she was like, are you ever going to smile again? She was concerned because it wasn't funny. And so now that's the joy of going through things, because it changes you. Like, I can never be back in that place, in that space.
Yeah.
Because now I know. The problem then is that I didn't know that it was ever going to end. I was in pain every day.
Yeah.
You know, when you get knee surgery, hip replacement, shoulder, something, you go through therapy. There's no therapy for your stomach, for abdominal pain, for gastric, whatever. They have to just guess what it is by trial and error. And so that was the thing. It was like, why is there still pain? Run tests, run tests, run tests. It's not. It's like a process of elimination. I end up having.
That sounds like comedy in a way.
Right.
Right.
You just got to try.
It out.
Yeah. Until you figure it out. I had to make a lot. I didn't eat. I was addicted to with Smoothie King, kid smoothie with no additives in it. So it's pretty much just ice and strawberries. And I ate that. I drank that almost every day, just a kid size. And then gradually I would eat things. And if I ever got sick, I would not eat it. I didn't eat rice for like a year because I swore that
it was the rice. The rice was the problem.
And so things like that do really affect my stomach because it gets inside you and it swells. So you think you're not full. And then next thing you know, like you have to imagine it like this. Your stomach is a circle. And when you have this surgery, they make it an eye. So they cut it. So now once it fills, that's a wrap. Like it has to come back out. The eye got to come up. Like there ain't a circle for it to, gather around. It's like, hey, we at capacity. So you can put this food in there. So you can't eat and drink at the same time. There's so many different things that you have to learn. You have to eat much slower. Like all of these things play a role into it. So during that time, it wasn't funny because I didn't know that it was ever going to end. I didn't know that the pain was going to stop. And that, I was like, God, make it, make it stop. Let me get one good day. I would get a good day. Let me get 2 good days. And then it'd be right back. I couldn't get to 3 good days. And I was relying heavily on the pain medicine, and the pain medicine would make it all subdued. But then I was taking it when I wasn't in pain.
Right.
Just because I loved the way that it made me not be in pain.
Yeah.
So, I was pretty upset that they wouldn't keep giving it to me, but, that's when the marijuana really helped to ease me out of that. And it helped. It ultimately helped with the pain. And when I returned to the stage, it was so awkward. Did you
feel like you were starting all over again?
I didn't feel like I was funny. I felt like I was funnier when I was Big Lotto because I didn't care.
Okay.
I was doing something very weird, and I still got like tapes. I was holding my arm. I was used to obviously putting my arm on my fat and resting it.
Okay.
So that was an awkward thing for me in the beginning, is that my hands was weird. Like it was just weird. It felt different. And the weird thing is people didn't know. People didn't notice.
Right, but you knew.
Oh, I knew. And they didn't know I was still a little high on the pain medicine. Yeah. Well, not pills. I don't swallow.
Right, you don't swallow, right?
Yeah,
pain syrup.
Yeah, the
Sipping
pain.
on that scissor.
Hello. Yeah, I would take it. And that was the crazy thing. I would try to time it. And that's what people don't understand. It's like, bro, like, I really don't have that much time before this shit wear off.
Yeah.
Like, you get to a show.
Yeah, they want you to wait. Nah, I can't wait.
Bro, like, this shit gonna come back. I'm gonna be on stage. Like, hey, man, y'all gotta start this. That's how I was thinking. But they didn't know. Like, I wasn't okay. Remind you, I didn't drink. I wasn't drinking. And so I was definitely not about to eat anywhere because we never know what my stomach was gonna do.
Right.
So at that point, I didn't know what would or would not affect me. So
you had to rebuild.
Yeah, there was a lot of rebuilding. There was a lot of
as a woman, you had to rebuild, as a comic and all the things.
Yeah. So I ended up, during that time, having my fibroids removed, a myomectomy, because they said, okay, maybe that's probably where the pain was coming from. So I had that, and that that was like 2 months.
Why do you think so many Black women have fibroids?
Do you
think it's stress related?
I don't think it's stress related. I definitely think that it's genetics, science.
Okay.
You know, I understand the concept of that, but when we think about sickle cell, you know,
yeah, you don't think stress, you just think it's just in the genes.
And
period.
so I think the same way. I think science is kind of different in that sense. Pigmentation and all that other kind of stuff. Like some things are just some things. I don't know. I do think that I stress differently. Like I feel like my body goes through stress more than my mental, especially now, because now I know God got me. You know, like now this.
And when you say now, that's after going through all of this?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I don't feel like I could ever go through anything like that because I know that this too shall pass. It's just a matter of when it. Yeah, because I didn't know that before. I was like, you know, there was a little suicide on this, you know.
A little sprinkle.
It was,
a little dash or two.
Yeah. And then I was like, I can't try to kill myself and don't do a good job. That ain't going.
Right. Like around now you got marks on your neck for the rest of your life. Right.
Bro, like,
now you does a little.
Ignoring me, bitch. My body's so strong, bitch. I got one arm. Nah, I'm not gonna be the bitch that gotta tie up her sleeve and
right. And now you can't even try again because you're only halfway right.
Nah, I'm not buying one shoe at a time. Nope. Nope.
So now you know God got you.
Yeah, man, that's a real thing. Now I know. And you know what else helped me with that? Lil Duval. He got into this major car accident and, you know, really jacked himself up, airlifted everything. And I saw him joking and laughing and smiling. And that wasn't me when I was sick.
Yeah.
And I've even seen other comedic like people in that space. And I vowed to myself that, you know, I don't ever want to lose sight of me. Because at the end of the day, I know God got me.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. And so that's a forever lesson. Yeah.
So you've been 9 years in the game?
Technically, this is my 8th year.
Okay.
This is my 8th year.
How have you changed as a comic in these 8 years?
Man, I am still developing, but I'm wiser. When I first started doing comedy, I really just wanted to MC and host events. That's where the name MC Lotto comes from. I just wanted to MC and host events, and I thought I needed an MC name for that. So I created that, and I ended up developing a set. Messed around, and I learned how to
come on now
write a joke or two.
Mess around with the get round.
Yeah, so my comedy has grown. Comedically, I view comedy differently. Like I'm just a little bit smarter now. And now I'm at a point where I want to say more. You know, certain topics that I'm not really into politics. That's not my thing. Yeah. You know, and if that's your thing, that's your thing. And I think that that's dope, but I don't watch that in my normal life. Right. But I pay attention to the things that what I'm noticing now is the way that the people connect to the jokes that I have. And so now I'm like, oh, I need to go deeper in that thought because they're gravitating towards something that I just thought was funny and true. Yeah. But it's deeper than that because they're like, oh my gosh, I go through the same thing. So now I just want to go, I just want to be realer, you know, and deeper. Yeah. That's pretty much, that's where I'm at now.
May I ask, how young are you?
I am 39.
Okay.
I know I look way younger. I should start lying. 34.
Right. How do you feel about being 39?
I'm about to be 40 in January. 40 with no kids, never married, never asked to be married. And we ain't counting them dust buckets that asked.
Yeah, nah, of course not.
Because, you know, it was a bum one time in Minnesota that had mentioned it, but I didn't.
But then you gave him his $5.
Yeah, he kind of, yeah. I knew he wasn't serious. Right. But for a moment, I had thought about it, but he kind of skedaddled pretty fastly. So, yeah.
So saying that, are those things that you want?
So I definitely want, so listen, I've always wanted to be a mother because I thought that I was a nurturing individual. And then just having,
person.
Yeah, and having an offspring I think would be pretty dope. And then I always desired unconditional love. I feel like your kids, and I know sometimes that it's not always 100% true.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I do feel like, you have more of an opportunity to have a unconditional love with a child versus like a significant other, husband, for myself. I am open to love and would love to be loved in a sense. In today's society, I feel like there's a lot of, love has changed.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, I want to be loved, but I don't want to have to give up my morals in a sense. So I'm not looking, I really want monogamy. So I'm not looking to just
being no open, no poly, none of that new age shit.
Yeah, I'm not really into that. I will say this though. I don't think that I'm the type of person that will end a relationship if a person cheats on me.
Don't say that, Lotto.
Yeah, and
because even if it's true and that's fine, I can see because it's human nature. It's not right, but you don't want to because then they're like, okay, she'll be cool. You know what I mean?
I just want there to be a conversation.
Okay, you just want honesty.
Yes, man. Yeah. Honesty is big. Sex is what, 30 minutes?
Yeah, 5.
Okay,
let's just keep it a buck.
Wow. Not the sex I've been having. I don't want 30 minutes to dictate. And again, there's so much more than just this little moment of this conversation.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you can't be out here doing 30 minutes 5 different times a week or anything like that. So I guess that there is a reason to not say it or to openly say it. But I mean, in a nutshell, I just think that sex is a minute item in comparison to like unconditional love and happiness.
In a lifetime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, partnership.
Yeah.
Partnership. Growing together, like, got my back, push and pull, and that sort of thing.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Right. It's a poetic, Lotto. I like when the side of you comes out.
See, people, but that's the thing. People don't want to see this side. They be like, why don't you just get to the jokes, girl? So I find that when I date, because I don't usually like everybody.
Yeah. Aquarius.
Yes. But when I like somebody, I like them. I really like them. And what happens is they realize, damn, you got a personality.
Yeah.
Dang, you deep. Dang, you serious. And I think that they really just want the Lotto Marie that they see on stage. Quite often. I mean, I know that I have a very encouraging personality. Yeah. The last person I spoke to was like, I was one of the most influential persons that they met in 2023. And they really enjoyed it. I can't say that they sucked a lot out of me because even when I pour into people, I still do for me. Like I never, I think
you don't deplete yourself.
Yeah, I don't deplete myself. I just, my slogan is I just want to win.
Right, and you want everyone else to win.
I want to see everybody around me win. And, I've seen people question that or wonder how true that is or, and they've come back and they're like, you've been saying that for the last 8 years and you really have showcased that. And what I had to explain is that I don't want losers around me. You understand what I'm saying? So I want to see everybody around me winning. Right. So if that means
less room for bullshit if everybody is on their
man, you gonna pull me. You gonna push if you get there first. Right. You gotta be like, man, Lotto, if it wasn't for we gotta and it don't your win don't hurt me. I am so happy. And I just pray that I never get to that point of being upset with where I'm at within my comedy journey. Because you see a lot of people that are envious-hearted of people that come in before them that do very, very well. That don't bother me. Because what I'm working on is what I'm working on. Right. And so I just finished an auctioneer program. And I'll be sitting for my auctioneer to be licensed in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I'm waiting for them to let me know.
Congratulations in advance.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm on my own journey.
You carve your own lane.
Yeah. So I congratulate people when I see them doing great things. Sometimes it encourages me because I didn't know that was an option. You have to remember, this is an industry that I didn't know
existed.
Right. So I'm learning often about the variety, about the sky is the limit. And
Because there are so many different buckets within comedy as a whole. Like, so many different niches.
Writing.
Yeah.
And, like, even the auctioneer thing, that's going to be a whole nother, like...
That's going to take your hosting to... What? Yes. I was just at this thing by Open Door Mission, and the guy who was hosting did the auction, too. And he was hilarious. So when you just said that, I'm like, oh, okay.
That's
because I've seen it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing people. Every time I try to explain to people, they're like, "Oh, you gonna do the fast talking?" He probably didn't even talk that fast.
He didn't.
Yeah, because I want to do benefit auctions. So it's
Yep.
benefits fundraiser. St. Jude needs to raise $3 million. They need an auctioneer.
Yep.
They need somebody with personality, charisma, somebody. And then for me, I'm hilarious. I'm a joke and say things. I'm gonna entice people to spend money. They're not spending money. They're donating.
Right.
And so that's me. I got the gift of gab.
Right. And you get to help people. You're helping
and
these
I'm helping.
organizations.
And, you know,
St. Jude gets me every time that commercial comes on TV1. They keep playing it because they know black people be kind-hearted. Every time they put that QR code, they make it nice and easy too. I'm like, oh, little Bobby, I want him to live.
So listen, this is like a connecting moment. I was sick. When I was sick, I was at my parents' house and I just used to walk around. I couldn't sit down. I would walk for hours in a circle. From the back room, hallway, another hallway, the den, through this, this is the den, the fancy room, the kitchen, the dining, and then we all got a bunch of rooms, huh? A living room.
She got money.
Yeah, I would just walk in this, just around and around, and one day that goddamn St. Jude commercial came on, and you know, them motherfuckers don't be having an arm.
Yeah.
No hair, bandage.
And babies.
And I'm crying. And I'm crying. And these motherfuckers ain't got limbs and they, you know, it's like, mother, get your shit together.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I remember that moment. I remember thinking like, girl, you could do this. You could do this. Now, come on now.
Yeah.
Get it together. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even think about that.
As we wrap up, what's something that you are not too old for?
Oh, you know what? I'm not too old to have fun. I'm not too old to live. I'm not too old to start over. I'm not too old to keep trying at something that I haven't been successful at. I'm not too old to learn. You know, every day you live in is a day to learn.
Amen.
And that is something that I get excited about. Daily growth. There are certain things that I want to do better. You know, I've talked to you about I want to da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and you're like, you know, you could do it, just do it, right? And still that same thing, but sometimes things show up to you as a distraction. And so it's important.
Because everything is an opportunity.
Yes, yeah. It's important to not be distracted. I got hit up by some people with opportunities that saw something that I do and wanted me to pitch it to TV. Recent. Jacked my whole day up because that's not what I was expecting that conversation to be about. And so I'm working on the auctioneer thing. I think this was right before I was about to go, and it's like I don't have the capacity to sit and write a treatment. Right. Or to a proposal for TV where this is something that wasn't even on my brain. Yeah. That's a distraction. And I'm like, I'm totally interested, but y'all gotta give me some time. And you know what? They literally responded and was like in so many words, it was something like, there's no need to rush. Like great things take time. Yeah. And that was such a refreshing response for them to send back to me because that's true. It's not going anywhere. Yeah. And I need to focus on my everything look like it's slow, but my focus is passing this state test. And then everything will unroll from there. All the pieces come together. Yeah, it's about to be that's gonna be a huge elevation to the Lotto Marie brand overall. And eventually it's gonna be in the comedy as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We might have to do a part 2 because I have more questions, mainly in how you've changed from big lotto to medium lotto, as you say. Yeah. I wonder, as being a more attractive woman now. We could objectively say this.
Okay, all right.
Does that make it harder to be funny?
Yes. So, and here's the thing. I wasn't always big.
Okay.
There's always a difference. About 25, 26 is when I started getting bigger. So I was big, I would say about 10 years.
Okay.
So I was actually, not that it's not possible for big people to be prom queen, but I was the prom queen my senior year in high school. I was
That's a whole different context.
Yeah, like I was very popular in high school. I was very well known. I was an athlete and all of these things.
What was your sport?
I played basketball predominantly.
You would be a hooper.
Yeah, I played volleyball and I did softball as well. I wasn't a track. That wasn't my thing. I did do it, but I wasn't the best at it. But overall, the problem that I had within the transition was that people definitely treated me differently. And I understood it, but they thought that I was more confident now.
Yeah.
And for me, even when I look at me now, I just see the person I was before I got big. It's like
So it's not how you saw yourself that changed, it's how they saw you.
The people saw me, and that fucked with me. That hurt. Because it was the comments like, oh, you feeling yourself now, or you look happier now. It was always the word now afterwards. And it was like, I'm still me.
Yeah.
I just can't eat like I used to eat.
Yeah.
And so there were things that changed, though. Like, I jokingly flirted with people. When you big, you could get away with that.
Right. It's just a joke then. Right.
When you medium, they taking it serious.
Now his dick is out. What you about to do?
It's like, let me not joke with y'all because y'all taking this serious. So, I think also, I mean, Big Lotto was just raw. And I don't know. I mean, you could tell me. I feel like I still have the rawness on stage, but
I didn't know you before.
Really? You only knew me for the last 5 years? Dang.
Yeah.
Big Lotto.
And that's when you came when you were first coming back.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
'Cause that's when I started.
Okay. All right. So this is your 5th year?
4.
Okay. Yeah. Have you completed 4 years?
No. So
Are you in your 4th
I'm
year?
in my 4th year.
Okay. That's always a thing.
Yeah.
It's all of this is everybody swallows it a different way.
Oh, we're back to swallowing.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just made
full
that
circle. Call back, but I'm bump. Okay, we gotta.
All right, my bad. Yeah,
No,
my bad.
what's your bad?
I mean, I messed up your whole show.
This
You ain't even writing none of this stuff down. This ain't even. It's cool.
This is what the show is, my love.
Oh, okay.
Right,
Cool.
you see?
I probably ain't gonna get invited back again.
I'm done. Tell them where they can find you, please.
Listen, on all social media platforms, y'all need to look up Lotto Marie. It's like what you win. So that's Lotto Marie, Marie. Every 90s baby had the middle name Marie.
Come on.
And that's my middle name. So Lotto is I just want to win is not like the rapper. I gotta say
she cute too.
Oh, she dope.
Right.
Big
Yeah.
Lotto. But I am the biggest Lotto. Yeah,
right.
let go.
We love y'all. God bless.
Peace.